excel in both offensive and defensive air combat. The single-seat fighter has dominated air combat since the earliest days of aerial warfare. Although mainly intended for battling other aircraft, the fighter has long been used in another role. Fitted with bombs or other types of weapons, the fighter can also attack ground targets. These dual-purpose fighters are referred to as strike bombers or strike fighters. An example of this type of aircraft is the U.S. Navy's A-10 Hornet strike fighter, which ably demonstrated its capabilities during Operation Desert Storm in 1991. There, 2 Hornets were on a bombing sortie when they were ambushed by 2 Iraqi MiG fighters. The Hornets instantly switched to dogfighting mode. Successful in shooting down the MiGs with air-to-air missiles, they resumed their bombing mission. Previous generation fighters lacking the computer prowess of the Hornets would have needed to discard their bombs in order to defend themselves in a dogfight. The configuration of modern strike fighters is shaped by their missions. Ground attack falls into several categories. Close air support generally means combat missions in the immediate battle area, alongside friendly forces. In these missions, the aircraft are often assigned to attack enemy tanks or troop concentrations. Accuracy of delivery is essential in order to avoid casualties to friendly forces. Another important mission for strike fighters is called battlefield interdiction. In the interdiction role, the primary targets are military forces deep behind the front lines. These operations include striking such high-value targets as command headquarters, supply bases, vital bridges, enemy artillery, and reserve forces moving up to the front. Since these attacks are carried out deep into enemy territory, the strike fighter must be able to survive the onslaught of anti-air defense systems, such as radar-directed missiles. Modern strike fighters often evade these defenses by relying on low-flying tactics, taking advantage of the terrain to hide from enemy radar. The Harrier vertical takeoff jet is a unique variety of strike fighter. The Harrier was developed in Britain in the 1960s to fulfill a special requirement. In modern air wars, air bases are a prime target. If a runway is destroyed, then high-performance jet fighters are effectively grounded. The Harrier overcomes this dilemma with its vertical takeoff and landing capability known as VSTOL. Though it can launch and land like a conventional jet, its Rolls-Royce engine is specially configured so that it can be vented downwards, enabling the Harrier to take off and land vertically. A Harrier can operate from small clearings near the battle area, regardless of the conditions of local runways. The Falklands War in 1982 demonstrated the versatility of the Harrier.
Without the Harrier, there would have been no air power for the British Navy and for the British Air Force. So we use that also in the central region and in other places. We can operate away from airfields, away from long strips, either in the woods, on ships, on strips, on a bit of tarmac roads near villages. You can use it anywhere.
The sophistication of the Harrier's engine means the pilot has a larger array of controls than most fighter aircraft.
It is an extra lever, an extra throttle lever, which normally for forward flight, the nozzles are pointing aft, and when you want to slow down into the hover, you bring that lever back and the nozzles go down to the vertical, or to slow down even quicker forward of the vertical. And then as you slow down and the wing loses lift, then you have to replace that with engine power, so you bring up the engine to high power settings to compensate for that loss of lift.
If you owe the IRS or state more than $10,000 in back taxes, listen carefully. You don't want to face the world's largest collection agency alone. Call Guaranteed Tax Relief right now.
The IRS threatened to take our home, levy our bank accounts. They even garnished my wages.
One thing is certain. The IRS has lawyers working to collect your debt. Don't face them without your own legal help.
After speaking with the Parks about their tax debt, I reminded them that bad things happen to good people. They were in fear of losing their home to the IRS.
Guaranteed Tax Relief can help you settle your tax debts for far less than you currently owe. And Guaranteed Tax Relief does what no other tax relief company can do. They guarantee the results.
We owed $137,000, and Guaranteed Tax Relief settled it for $6,200.
Call Guaranteed Tax Relief right now, before it's too late.
Call 800-TAX-9181. That's 800-829-9181. The relief is guaranteed.
A new generation of veterans is coming home. Make a difference for them at welcomebackveterans.org.
The central mission for the Royal Air Force's Harrier GR-5 is the ground attack mission. But the Falklands fighting made it clear that the Harrier can perform in the fighter role as well.
You find that we do a lot more air combat than even the air defense guys. They do radar combat, and we do a lot of aircraft-to-aircraft fighting. So a lot of our training is pure air combat. I'd imagine 40% of it. So whenever the weather is not good, a tremendous amount of low level, we go off and we do combat.
The United States Marine Corps has been an enthusiastic supporter of the jump jet concept. The Marines currently fly the AV-8B Harrier II, a second generation of the aircraft developed in cooperation by British Aerospace and McDonnell Douglas. The Harrier's adjustable avionics are especially suited for Marine pilots.
Being a Harrier pilot is kind of special because I think we're the best pilots. We're the best stick and rudder men, I think, in military aviation. It's the best of both worlds. I mean, you hover like a helicopter and you fly straight and level like a regular aircraft. It's not supersonic like some of the other high-speed fighter aircraft, but it maneuvers very well and it's very versatile. We only need a 2,000-foot aluminum strip to take off, and of course, you can land in a spot the size of a tennis court.
The Marines' interest in the Harrier can be traced to their special role in America's armed forces. The Marines have traditionally been employed as an expeditionary force, able to carry out combat assignments thousands of miles from major bases. The Harrier is a complement to Marine operations, since it can operate from small Navy carriers. Once the Marines have secured a beachhead, the Harriers provide close air support from the shore itself. Although the Harrier is usually viewed as a close air support aircraft for Marine ground units, it is capable of carrying out deep attack missions as well. This is due in large part to improvements incorporated in the newer AV-8B Harrier II, which has nearly twice the range of the Harrier I.